The indications and applications of past life regression therapy. Past life regression is a practical therapy that has a spiritual element. So the major indication that people have to come for past life regression therapy is to resolve their present life issues. They have a compelling motivation. They're experiencing some pain, some suffering in their life. They may not really want to do past life regression therapy or any kind of therapy, but they don't want to have this pain in their life, and they'll feel forced to do whatever it takes to resolve their issue. They may have started wanting to do NLP or hypnotherapy and find, well, that's got us halfway there, but we need to keep going. And now I understand that it has some past life elements. It's not something I was interested in 2 weeks ago, but I understand that this could help me now, so let's do it. The superconscious mind of the client also needs a compelling motivation. There is a veil that exists between our conscious mind and our ability to access memories in our subconscious. With hypnosis, we can enhance our memory. But we have that barrier there for a reason. That veil exists. Our superconscious mind protects us, or it doesn't overwhelm us with too much information about all the things that happen in their past lives. So in order for us to convince our superconscious mind to reveal that information, it also needs a compelling motivation. When our client comes to resolve issues that are significant, it has that motivation, and it makes past life regression more applicable and appropriate. Secondly, people can come to past life regression explicitly more for the spiritual insight. Sometimes they won't have a compelling issue or one that they can define. Therefore, we might try and talk them out of it and say, well, you don't really have the indications for past life regression. And yet they'll turn around and say, I have a strong sense that past life regression is for me. And they may then be able to talk us, the therapists, into feeling that, okay, it is appropriate for you based on your strong sense. It's up to us as a therapist to filter, to make sure that the indications and applications that our client is bringing are appropriate. So maybe there's just a sort of a mild curiosity. Then we can dissuade them from past life regression or offer them some of the other modalities. Well, let's do some work on hypnotherapy first, or neuro-linguistic programming, to really clarify what are your well-formed outcomes. Let's set those before we jump into a past life regression therapy session. Oftentimes, no matter what you're doing, it's useful to have done hypnotherapy with your client first, so you can see the patterns, events, and people and their interactions in this life, and then you can match them and see the repeating patterns and see the other side of the story that will come through in past life regression. So one of the key indications for past life regression therapy is that you've done hypnotherapy with them, and that got you half the way there. And with most of your hypnotherapy clients, that would have been 100% of the journey. But with some of them, you think we need something extra, or something actually arose in the session that made it, fairly obvious and gave you both a strong sense that past life regression therapy can be that extra step that can get you towards the therapeutic outcome. So we can have 4 categories of applications. So we can see we've got emotional and mental residues and explicitly spiritual topics, reconnecting with spiritual abilities, understanding life purpose, meeting the spirit guides, connecting with the higher self, reconciling with death. So some of the key emotional areas: attraction and aversion between friends, families, or rivals, competitors. You can look at romantic soulmates and the many stages they go through of getting together, managing the relationship, and breaking up. People often come to deal with loss, death of their loved ones, grieving, depression, and strong feelings around significant life changes and career crossroads. Mental applications include limiting beliefs. So there can be various mental blocks, obsessions, compulsions, and people can get a sense of deja vus, intuitions, or dreams that can contribute to that strong sense that past life regression may be for them. Now, physical is an interesting one because there are physical syndromes and physical conditions that are driven by emotional and mental factors and possibly by karmic spiritual factors. Weight loss, illness, syndromes, chronic pains that don't have a consciously identifiable cause can sometimes turn out to have a past life cause. And we need to be clear that though it can have physical benefits as a side effect, these aren't the key applications. Though it is useful to note that these can be periphery indications that past life regression may be applicable. So it's essentially an emotional, mental, or spiritual modality.